Hi everyone, we hope you're enjoying your Nero stove and everyone's getting ready to start again for the new season. At the end of last season we sent out a email suggesting that you should do a clean out cycle at the end of when you were using it with either soot loose or soot kill or a similar like product. So this type of thing, that's the soot loose, kill soot. They're very good for cleaning out the machine at the end of the season. Now if you haven't done that, the stove can block up over summer, and when you go to start it might be blocked. You'll see this when you go to light it if it takes a long time to light and it smokes a lot, and you can only actually get it to ignite if you force it to go into a relight. So what you need to do in that case is lift up your exhaust fan settings to the maximum and force it to come on, and then get the fire hot if it'll light, and then run the soot kill or soot loose through it. The way of doing that is a third of a packet, getting the fire hot, and then a third of a packet of soot loose every 10 minutes until it is all burned away. And this will loosen up any build up that's in the channel at the back of the stove, and it will either blow out the flue or settle in the exhaust fan housing. So if the stove is running fine, then lower the exhaust fan speed back to normal, and if the fire struggles, then you'll need to pull out the exhaust fan and suck out the soot. It's just a matter of pulling out the 4 screws around the housing and carefully lifting out the fan. It's much easier to pull the stove out into the open so you can have easy access to everything through the side and back panels. If you have any questions, just contact us and we'll talk you through it. The 2 most important things in keeping the Nero running well is your fuel quality and air settings. You all know about the fuel, but here is a tip for the airways. After testing it ourselves, we strongly recommend fitting a smart burn, which is one of these, and it's a small catalyst which sits in the fire. The smart burn slowly releases a vapour which constantly cleans the inside of the stove and improves the combustion on low settings especially. This takes away the risk of not cleaning your stove out properly, and it'll mean that the glass stays a lot cleaner and easier to clean each time you do it. Now the smart burns are available from us for $40 plus postage. We can get them from Bunnings for $40 or most wood heater shops for $50. It's supposed to last for 3 months, and you'll know when it's empty because your glass will get harder to clean. Now I'm going to show you how you fit the smart burn. Okay, so now I'm going to do is show you how to fit the smart burn. It's already sitting in this fire, so what we'll do is take it out and then put it back in again. When the smart burn's in the fire, it blocks the hole at the front, so what you can have is some waste sitting on top of it. So you need to sit a fire pan under the door as you open it, so that when you open it, it just drops into the pan and doesn't make so much of a mess. So this is set up to run on wheat, so if you're running the pits or wood pellets or any other sort of stone, you won't have the wings or the rod. But what you do is you take out your wings first, then your rod, and then the smart burn. So this is the actual smart burn itself. It's just a tube with the end squashed, and there's a solid material inside. So the thing to remember is how this works is that it warms up, the solid thing turns into a liquid, and then the liquid lets off a vapour. So it's very, very important that you have it sitting flat. It can't be sitting like this or like that because all the stuff falls out, as you can see there. So you need to keep it sitting flat. The way to do that is it comes with a small clip which you use to prop it up level. So if we were doing a full clean, we take out the pot now and tip it out, put it back in. Now then the important thing is to sit the clip in there, and you can practice this while it's cold so you don't have any risk of the stuff falling out, but that's about where I find it sits properly. and then you sit the smart burn on there, make sure it's nice and level, and then put your wings back in like normal. Now if you've already got one of our stoves with the standard wings, they'll be straight on the edges. You need to cut out a small notch so that when it's sitting on the pot this way, it doesn't stick out over the front, so you end up with it sitting like that so that the smart burn can sit right up against the pot. Otherwise there's not enough room between the glass, so it's just a matter of cutting out a notch on the wing to make it fit. Now if you can't do that, you can always post them back to us and we'll do it and send it back to you, so that's no problem. So then you just sit your wings back in. It's a bit easier when you're not doing it with the wrong hand. Hang on, I'll try the other side first. There's one. Two. You see that's quite secure there now. And once the door's closed, it can't go anywhere. Put your rod in, close the door, and then we're ready to start. So we'll just start it up now and pause the camera while it gets going, and then show you it going. So just pause it. Okay, we're going to keep going now because we're not sure whether our video camera will stay on pause for very long, so we don't want to have to do it again. So the important thing is when you go to clean out your clinker or clean out your pot if you're on the woody waste, is that the smart burn unit needs to cool down enough so that the liquid inside re-solidifies. Because if the fire's red hot and you just pull it out, it'll pour out one end of it and then you've wasted it. So the best thing to do is go into a cool down mode, and when the fire stops, it'll definitely be okay at that point. So the smart burn, it doesn't take very long to cool down. It'll be too hot to touch anyway. So just try it a few times, you'll get a feel for when it's solidified, and it doesn't take very long to do that because it's too expensive to be tipping out on the ground. But you will find immediately that the glass stays much cleaner than it normally does, and it'll give you a much less smoke, not this much anyway, and keep the inside of the stove much cleaner. So as you can see, we're just starting to ignite now, and it'll just go into a normal ignition sequence. You will be able to slow down your fuel flow a little bit, possibly, because it's they tell me that the smart burn does is it slows down the rate of the fire, so you'll actually be able to even drop a couple of points off your low speed settings for the fuel feed. Now we're recommending that everybody uses these. It'll just keep your machine nice and clean and save you having any trouble during the year when you find it starts to block up under normal circumstances. You can still use the soot kill as long as you use it 2 or 3 times a year at least, but realistically you should be using one of these, and we'll definitely be asking if you've been using them if you have problems, because it's very unlikely that you'll have an issue if you're using the smart burn. But as always, any issues at all, give us a call straight away, and we'll sort you out and get everything back on a level playing field and get you running again. I think that's all we need to know for now, and thank you for listening to me, and we look forward to talking to you on the phone or receiving your emails over the course of winter, and keeping everything nice and warm. Okay, thank you very much, and goodbye for now. Well, the camera's kept going, and as you can see, here's the fire up and running as it should be. This is just on a standard high setting, so and there's still a bit of cat litter left in the bottom, so it's burning quite aggressively, and it'll just settle down over the next 5 to 10 minutes and run along good as gold. And you can see that there's the smart burn sitting in the front there, not causing any trouble at all, but you can see that there's a little bit of it may not come up in the camera, a little bit of material on top of it, which will definitely fall out onto the floor when you open the door. So make sure that you've got that ash pan sitting on top of the sitting under the door when you open it. The other important thing to do is make sure that you check your flues regularly for build up of material in the bottom of the flue, because as you know, as the dust comes out, especially on the horizontal flue, it just collects in the bottom to some degree, and then that just builds up and blocks the flue off. So initially you want to check it each week, and possibly then just go out to once a month or something like that. Just take the flue out, give it a knock on the ground. If you're running a vertical flue the same as this one, you've got your cap on the bottom there, so you just need to take that cap off, put your ash pan underneath it, and tap the flue so any waste comes down. Also, it's a good idea to check inside the tee that it's not collecting right at the lip of the tee, and that way you'll keep it all nice and clean. But the smart burn will definitely help with all of those things too, so that's well worth noting. But it's very important to keep everything nice and clean. The same with the inside of the fire. At least once a week you want to just have a vacuum cleaner with a pointy nozzle and spray up around the suck up around the two outlet holes for where the flue gases go out, because you get a build up of flaky dust in there. Once again, smart burn will reduce this, but it'll still be there, so don't neglect doing that. And then you'll find that your stove runs beautifully all year long, and what you'll get is a consistent burn all year, rather than it's starting to choke up later in the year and you're wondering why it's hard to light, but it does get going and those sort of things. So a little bit of maintenance and you'll find that these machines, it's not just ours, it's other brands too, all work far better. Okay, thank you for your time, and we'll probably talk to most of you during the year, and happy heating. Okay, thank you. Bye.